All right, everyone. Hey, welcome to another wonderful Saturday. And it's I, Nathan Bonner, the artist, creator of Indavo, and the artist of the Big Money Monster comic, A True Life Tale of Murfreesboro, Illinois, detailing the sightings of Murfreesboro, Illinois' very own cryptid, the Big Money Monster. But hey, as promised, I'm back. It's early October. And my weight class is finished, and I now suddenly have more time to do things other than enormous amounts of research. So, I am back. And what are we doing today? Today, we are going to be doing a handshake. Well, I'm going to be doing a handshake, and you're going to be following along. But this is how this works. So, I'm in Paint Studio Pro EX, as you can see. Now, what's the difference between this and Pro? It's simple. It's on your timeline. On most other versions of Clip Paint Studio, you can only have 24 frames or 1 second of animation. But in EX, it's unlimited. So you pay a little bit extra, but you get that unlimited timeline, which is handy because we're going to be doing 48 frames. Yes, quite a bit. That's like 6 seconds long. At 8 frames a second, not 12 or 24. In this case, I tend to do on what they call threes, which is 8 frames a second, because I'm not insane. I know there are animes out there doing entire episodes, brand animations, frame by frame, on twos, and I applaud their work, but wow, that's a lot. All right, so and again, this handshake could have been done in Moho, completely 100%. It'd be fairly easy to set up and do, but as I've been trying to say, I've been trying to get better at frame by frame animation, and the only way you get better at frame by frame animation is to actually do it. So therefore, I am doing this today. You can see I have had to talk myself into this. So all right, well, let's start a new project. So go to File and New. Okay, so main folder here. We are on the animation project. We got our size right. Our resolution's a little bit higher though. This will be because if I decide to move it forward or backwards in After Effects, this gives me a little bit of play. Usually it'd be 72, but so this is way over the 72 DPI needed, or dot per inch on the resolution. So this gives me some flexibility to play with it in the framing. We'll see how all that goes. All right, so what we have now is a bunch of other settings, but what we want to ensure we have the frame rate down here is set for 8, and playback time is 48. So if you do a little bit of math, you get to the 6 seconds of playback time, which is what we're wanting on this project. We're going to click OK. Makes units can be in pixels. It doesn't really matter. It may to you. To me, it does not. Just some music here, so it's not overpowering. There we go. Okay, so we have one frame here, and this is what our frame is, and you can see over in animation folder is frame 1. Okay, so this is frame 1, and this will go on for the first second. Is going to be Indavo's hand. Yes, that's right. So he has extended his hand out, and I also have some handshake reference. It's okay to use reference. I think you should use reference. In fact, if you had like a video reference and wanted to rotoscope this in 24 frames per second, you definitely could, and that'd be okay, I think. So, before I get started, let me crank out the old storyboard. Wow, that's really close up. And we might do that. I don't know. So yeah, in the frame on the storyboard, it's really, really, really taking up a lot of the frame. So we're going to just kind of go down here with our pencil tool. And we're going to start making a hand. A hand extended in friendship. Okay, now, already I can see that I have maybe that back a little bit using our layer move tool here, because this area right about here is where they're going to clasp, but it's going to be right about there. So get my fingers out there. Okay, so. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start making some hand-like shapes, I suppose you could say. It's more of a guide than anything right there. Okay, so what we'll be doing is probably will not be doing this level of detail, but for the beginning of the hand, we're going to make sure that we kind of get these fingers to be kind of a little bit broken up to there, and now the hands are a little bit more simpler in Moho. As you probably could tell, I made a reference sheet of hands, which I imported each character, so each character's hands are somewhat similar in some ways. Kind of expand out some of these fingers here, just a skoosh. Add in those lines there, there. It's more structurally, anything quite be like that. Let's kind of trim this down a little bit here. It's very kind of working fast on this, kind of just establishing the particulars of what the scene is going to look like. So let's that out a little bit. Okay. And like that, and that. Okay. So. Now we're going to put fingernails in. Yeah, we're going to put fingernails in, even though normally I don't do the fingernails on a lot of the scenes. No, well, for consistency's sake, no, I guess I won't do that. It'd be almost like in the SpongeBob, where it goes from the regular animation to the hyper-realistic kind of gross-out close-up of SpongeBob, Patrick, or Squidward. So we're not going to do that. That would be a bad idea. Right. Okay, so the hand is extended. And, of course, every hand has to have an arm behind it. And we can't forget the key important thing is that actually has, you'll be seeing a wristband on this side because that's his, one of the two Omnitronic crystals he wears. Osmic crystals, sorry. That activates the armor and also can do a plethora of other things and be a comm system at the same time. So, I mean, it's handy that way. Tis handy. Okay, so there we go. Hey, that's not a bad looking hand. Okay, a hand that has been extended in friendship. So this hand is going to be pretty well static. Until frame 9, which is the end of our first second. So at frame 9, we're going to click the new frame button. Boom, new frame. Okay, now I can't see anything whatsoever. It's all gone. What can we do? This is a little onion skin button. This shows us where this blue means this is where we've been. If I had done something else down the line, that would show up as red. That's where we're going. So, here we are. So what we're going to do is, this is going to be a little bit, because her hand's going to come in pretty hard. And her hand is, Ratty's hand, is coming in pretty hard. So, but before I do that, let me go back to here and let me see before I do anything else. A little bit of cleanup here, just a little bit more. So we're not got quite so much extra information to cloud what we should be looking at. A little bit of cleanup beforehand. Animation's a messy process. You got to feel it out. I am not a professional animator, but I play one on TV. Haha! No, honestly. You learn by doing, and that's kind of why I'm doing this today. Okay, so there we go. We have a hand extended friendship. Now, this top finger kind of bugs me. It's not quite what I think Indavo's hand would be like. Maybe it's a little too straightish. The other fingers seem to be okay, so we're going to redo that finger right quick. You're going to see me fuss about fingers quite a lot in these opening frames because it's very important. Hands are one of the trickiest things to do. It's very easy for people to go, well, that hand doesn't look right. Well, yes. And so I could say there's an entire uncanny valley when it comes to hands. And some of that is kind of borne out by Maury's original research. A researcher by the name of Maury is the one who discovered the uncanny valley. That's the thing where the more human-like robots become, the more disturbing they are to the human observer. Probably a leftover instinct from when we shared the planet with another race of humans like Neanderthals. It's always been my main supposition, and people will tell me to go to Hades for that. So, well, it's some sort of leftover instinct. You oftentimes misunderestimate the amount of human instinct that is still present and operational in the species today. There we go. Much better, much better. Okay, yes. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Wow. Okay, so that's where we were. This is where we're going. Okay, so basically we're going to have the same hand. Wait. What do you mean the same hand? Yes, the same hand. So I'm going to actually delete that out. We're going to do a little bit of a trick. So should their hands be separate going in? Yes, actually no. His hand will remain steady. Her hand will start to come in at 2, and they'll hit at, so second one to second to 2. Okay. Just trying to figure some things out here. So her hand will start to come in here. So this hand will stays locked until this moment when they hit. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. And this will be the 2 hands joined together. And we're going to go ahead and put those together. Right now, then we'll go back. It's in our frame. So basically, I'm just picking out the keyframes at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to here, and I'm going to hit this duplicate layer. Okay, I've duplicated the layer, and man. That was not what I wanted to do. Well, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Delete that out there. I don't want to, I think there should be no current frame there. We want to assign the frame here. Because I hit that new frame button. Let's see if I can go backwards here. Just go, or even do that. Well, I did a lot after I did that, didn't I? Oh boy. Okay, well, I'll tell you what we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to grab this frame here. We're going to have to go to delete that frame out. Okay, boom, that frame's gone. Okay, go back up to here. I do those bits and pieces that I was doing right before I hit that. Good. All right. Now we're going to go to here, and we're going to hit animation cell. Okay. And no, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to not do that at all. Take that out as well. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to go over here. We're going to hit duplicate layer. Okay, so there's a layer that's been duplicated. We've got to assign it. So what we need to do is we need to go over to here to assign cell. Pops up a little window, and I select which layer, and you can't see that. Let me drag it over here. Just select the number 2 there, and bow. There it is. Okay, now this is actually a separate cell. So everything's fine until here. So here is where, turn off that skin for right now. We're going to be putting in the other hand that will be, and they will be on the same layer. So this is going to be very interesting. So basically, We're not going to erase anything just yet. We're going to kind of rough this in. There we go. This represents the impact, so her thumb's going to be over here, and his thumb going back, and they'll be clasping in the next second. So we're just going to do that. So, right behind that thumb there. Just right there. Okay. Armed there. Okay, so where's these extra lines we don't need? Okay, now I'm going to get rid of these really nicely drawn hand that Indavo has here. It's now Ratty's and coming in. Now it's not going to come in from the side. I think it's going to come in from the camera on and then kind of shooshed into there. So we're going to get a little bit of a kind of almost like a slap. And then they're going to clasp fingers and pull back and do the money slide and finger guns at one another and booty bump. Yes. No. That's totally not what's going to happen. Okay. So you say her hand's a little bit larger than it. It's like, yeah, well, you know, she's got. I don't mean to call her large lady. She's tall. She's very, very tall. She's a dock worker. Yoked is a response I've heard. Yes, she's tall. Louise, on the other hand, is not. So, I mean, but Ratty also has frontline experience that we'll talk about at probably a later time. Alright, so let's go down to here. Head of hand. Make sure I get this as you should. So, okay. There we go. Okay, this is a bit of a mess. We're going to clean this up just a scooch to kind of get this idea. It's going in here. I did not do any of the structure on those fingers. Let's get some structure on those fingers just to make sure I'm not screwing everything up. Because we should not, especially when you're starting out in animation, you should probably always include your structure to make sure you're doing things right. Yada, yada, yada. And then later, after you've been doing it for years, you can totally fudge things. Whatever works. That's what the art instructor would say, probably. Animation instructor? Maybe, I don't know. Never went to animation school, as you can probably tell. Okay, well, here we are. Looks like we got a hand coming in. It looks like that hand is hitting pretty hard. Should moisturize more often. It's very dry in space. All those industrial parts chap one's hands pretty easily. Yes. Okay, boom. There we go. All right, so there we go. This is it. This is the booshed. Okay. So, the next frame we're going to draw is going to be as both hands now recede from the camera and they clasp. This is going to be at the half-second mark. Or is it going to be at the full second? Let's see. Half second, because it'd take 1 second for it to come back. So we're going to go to frame. Well, it doesn't really break out very well, does it? 20. Frame 20, and we're going to go new, brand new. Not gonna worry about copying or anything like that. Just my handshake reference I was using. Oh no, no, it's fine. I'm so ashamed. No, I'm not at all. Reference is important, just to make sure you're kind of getting the positioning right on things, especially something complicated with a like a handshake. Handshake's got 20 digits that have to fold over and curl in, so this is really complicated. Why did I do it? Well, to get better at things. That's why. Let's turn that onion skin back on. Okay. So here we go. How? We're going to now. Actually, no. I don't think we are. I think we are going to go ahead, and then I will put in between of the hands being backwards, but clasp. Yes. That sounds like a more logical plan, and something you can fudge around with a little bit easier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's what we'll do. Okay. So now these hands are going to be clasped in potential friendship. So what we're going to do is just going to go to here and go to right about here, and boom, that goes there. These fingers will tighten up. All right, clasp around Indavo's. And so this one goes to right about yes. Good. That's right about there. Checking my reference, making sure I got things right here. Her hands will like modulate, positioning in order to get a better grasp, and she's not up on her Space Mason handshakes. But Maddie's pretty smart. She will pick up on it really quickly. I think she'll pick up on it pretty quickly. What, is Indavo a Space Mason? Mysteries abound. Alright, so we're not going to worry about that too much because that finger goes back under there and his thumb's going to come over the top. So over here. Go down to here. Down here. And pow. Alright, that's going to open that up a little bit. Alright, let's drop that finger. That entire thumb assembly has to come down a little bit. Alright. A lot of erasing in animation. Don't be afraid to see if it works. If it doesn't work, erase it. Again. Don't get too tied up to your work. Immediately gets tied up to his work. Yeah, I'm not saying that I don't. Sometimes it's hard to let go, but sometimes you have to for the greater good. Aha. How? Alright, there we go. And now we gotta put them Indavo. This is the Indavo pinky. Yes. Have a ring finger. And we'll say his naughty bird flipper. And we'll say right here too. And it looks like on a lot of them, this one doesn't get to go out. So we're just going to do something a little bit artistic like that. And there we go. Not quite having the nails on there, but still. Alright, so there we go. Now we're going to put this back on here. Now the rest of his arm to there. There we go. Bam. I'm going to go back to here and make sure that detail that I just put on there is actually on. So there we go. Let's take off the onion skinning and take a look at our keyframes. Okay, hey, that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and block in his armband just for consistency's sake here to kind of help us make sure that we see everything that we need to see right and properly. Okay, so I'm done with my reference. And let's take a look and see what's going on here. Okay. 25 minutes in, and we've got some keyframes. Woo! Yeah. Okay, so they get back to this position, and then what's going to happen is we're going to go up. We're going to go up and down and end each one of the handshake part, the shaky bit. Of the shaky bit. So this is going to end here. So I mean, this is going to be like, this is going to be 3. So what do we do? Okay, what we're going to do before we hit any new frame or anything like that, we're going to duplicate. Gives us layer 4, which we go to this frame, go to our assign keyframe, bring up 4, like that. Okay, bam, and we're going to do the same for 5. I'm going to do the same for 5. So I was just thinking for a second. Ah, yes, and it's a beautiful day in sunny Energy, Illinois, and I've got the windows open. That's why you're hearing traffic and the occasional foot traffic on the road out front. Looking out the window, I can see a groundhog foraging in the grass next door. Okay, so let's go back to duplicate this layer. Okay, and let's go to assign, and we're going to assign 5. And we're going to go to the very last keyframe, and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to duplicate this guy. Duplicate. Alright, and we're just going to assign that guy right there too. Okay, bam. So basically we got a bunch of keyframes. Okay, so now need to play around a little bit. Aha! So we're going to go halfway to our halfway mark, which is 21 in this case. Between, well, yes, between these guys. Okay, so turn on our onion skin, and we're going to now. Actually, no, hang on. Before I do that, before I do that, I just had a genius thought. So I'm going to take this frame right here, which I created, and we're going to duplicate it again. Go to here, duplicate on this one, so it's not to fudge things up more. We're going to go to 21, and we're going to hit assign here. Aha! Yes, assign. And 7 goes in there. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to get to our layer transform tool right up here, and what we are going to do is we are going to select all, and we are going to scale. I'm just going to do freeform scale, and we're just going to go down. That going, because as they clasp hands, they the force of her hand coming in and smacking Indavo is pushing it back away from the camera, and they clasp here. So we're going to click OK. All right, and we're going to deselect, and we're going to draw out the rest of the arms there, because what has happened is all right, yes, all right, that's good. All right, now we're going to put some in betweens here, breaking up the keyframes for the other ones. Okay, it's going to be somewhat similar to what we have done before. So what we need to do is we need to go to our frame 6, or we could actually go to here, go to frame 3, and since that's the closest one to what we're doing, and we're going to be doing a duplicate layer, and we're going to go to 3A. Okay, now 3A is a one that we're going to alter. Be the shake up. I want to turn on our onion skin. Okay, so there we go. That's what we got. It's green because the two colors are mixed together. Meh. But that's fine. Now it gives us our ideas where our arms have to bend to. So as we go up, let's go up even more. Let's say it's a little bit more vigorous than we may have hoped. And we might actually try to do something interesting to kind of sell that idea too. Uh-huh. Here. Getting that the elbow's around here somewhere. It's not going to change it too much. So let's here, right there, and like her elbow is going to be right there. Yes. Okay, let's get rid of some of these extra lines we don't need anymore. There we go. Now, if we wanted to sell this with some speed, well, that's not too fast. See, now we have this frame. Okay, so boom, it's going to go up, down, up, and but we know here. I'm going to duplicate this frame right here. Okay, so they're going to go up, and then they'll go down here, but they'll go up one more time before settling, and that is where it will be settled. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign frame, and we're going to assign B right there. Right. Now, okay, second verse, same as first. We need a downward one. So we're going to go here. We're going to duplicate frame 4, because frame 4A, we go to our place on the timeline where we want that to be. We hit assign frame, and we're going to hit that right there. Okay, so as I said, we've got to now. This one has to move down. We're going to move this down, probably quite a bit. Probably, yeah, almost out of frame. Yeah, that's okay. And now we're going to redo the arm lines here. Yes, that was eraser sound effects. Every artist needs them. Should have them. Anyway. All right. Let's not too bad. Okay. Take off this onion skinning and see where we're at. Hit play. Back. Ah, there we go. Whoa, look at that. That's pretty good. Okay, now, what we have to do is we have to determine a few things. Okay, so her hand coming in is going to be on a totally different animation layer. So we're not going to do that right now. So what I'm going to do is the in-betweens between seconds 2 and 6. So in order to kind of sell this movement that we have here. So this is good. So I could do the frame up and down first. No, I think we're going to do this first. Okay, so we need to go to here. Okay, so now, any skins on? I'm going to do a brand new, completely new animation cell without any copying. Ooh, here we go. Stand on our own. Can I do it? I'm sure I will try. All right, so here we go. As you can see, the blue is where we were, and the green is where we're going. That was red, but you can change those settings in settings. I guess my previous version on the older computer. Let's see here. On the older computer had that on there. Let's see. One second. Anyway, let's see. What shot are we on? Oh, 70, of Of course. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, a little bit of housekeeping. I should have done beforehand. Set up a folder. Should have set up a folder in the first place. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to worry about that. The green and the blue are just going to have to be as they are. So, never mind. Let's see kind of what we got. Okay, so we have a frame here. And I think it's going to stay about that way. Yeah. And there's a little bit of change there, but not too much. Yeah, okay, so that's going to go back to here. Okay. And just get the general details down first. And worry about other things later. Okay. So his hand begins to clasp with hers. Very romantic. No. I mean, Rachel's standing right there. Her hand is going to be start to clasp pretty quickly. In fact, that needs to come to here. That needs to come there. And this needs to go quickly down there. So you probably do that index finger. More. That index finger a little bit more, and pinky. Yeah, let me redo that. All right, there we go. That's getting better. Get that rest of that clean up, as it were. And let's turn off onion skin, see what we got. Ooh. Okay. What I've got to do is I've got to get his hand fingers to start to kind of come around hers. Right? Get off. Get off. Let's go here. Yeah. Oops. That could be a little bit thinner. That's what's throwing me off. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's put that right about there too. So there, because he's got that. Yes, he's got that there. He's got that there. So okay, let's go ahead and block this in kind of a little bit, just kind of give me a little bit of frame of reference here. Good. There'll be one right there, and one right there. I'm missing one. I backed on this skin. Haha. Yes, I did. Okay. Well, tell you what. Okay. So there we go. Gonna do a new frame. even shrinking down even more. Same time. Okay. His hand is got 2 more frames to go, so we'll put a little bit more emphasis on a slower movement once he kind of gets into major clasping going on there. Okay, so now her hand is equally like that. Alright, so it looks like his fingers are about ready to come around. There. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and get her fingers into the. Okay, just take that out there because that's in the way. Constantly drawing, erasing, and drawing again. Such is the life of the artiste. Primarily, I work in graphic design. I draw a fair amount of Slooky Dogs for SIU. So always say multiple versions of those. I don't do that on my own work. When I'm working for myself, I'm a lot easier to work with. But sometimes a lot more demanding at the same time. So we're going to say that her pinky is now closing up quite well. There. Okay. Her hand's going to be right there. And his pinky is going to be right there. By the other ring finger there. Boyd finger goes there, and you get a less of that. Okay. That there, we got that there. Okay. Take that onion skin off, see what we got. Okay, let's clean up those knuckles because we don't need them to be quite so pronounced. Be a little bit more scuttler. There we are. Nah. Okay. Okay, there we go. That. That is right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's more frame to go on this. Okay. Okay, there. There we are. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Let's check it out. Whoa, look at that. That's a clasp if ever I've seen one. Okay, let's do one more. And this sequence will be finished. Now there will be a little bit of a... One second. I forgot to turn off notifications on El Phono. Alright. Don't need that disturbing us with any calls or telemarketers or whatnot. Okay, so we're going to do this frame, and then the handshake frames are going to be basically copies, some more copies, and going to be more copies till we get back to where we're going. Nice strobing effect. Okay, just checking the flow of things. It's not bad. It's not bad. It could be better, but it's not terrible at the moment. Okay, so down to the old nitty and gritty here. Yes, yes. And let's put the difference a little bit there. Right about there. Put that there. Okay, there we go. So these fingers are now almost going to be completely wrapped and locking in tight. Tighter than that. Tighter than that. Oops. Chunky there. Okay. And we're gonna there. That pinky always sticks out a little bit because she's an alien. I mean, that's what they do, right? Anything the invaders taught me anything was that alien pinkies stick out most of the time. The Invaders is a 1960s television series with Roy Finnis in the lead, and the aliens had taken human form. Their human bodies are not like taken over human bodies; they're actually made out of cellulose. And when they die, the energies keeping them in human form run out of control, and they vaporize. As all good alien invaders should, leave very little fuss or muss. And their pinkies stick out. So, you know, this is how it goes. This is how it goes. Okay, so there we go. Well, actually, that's got that quite like that. Let's see. Here's our problem. I gotta get around the wrist. Shoot. Tell you what, it's gotta go one more segment in order to get around the wrist. That's what's going on. Well. I'm just getting back on. Like I said, I'm not really great at frame-by-frame animation. I know you're like thinking, gosh, who's this guy? What's this guy's problem? Well, this guy is trying to learn, trying to get better at it. And in high school, I think I was pretty good. The timing, the individual drawings, I think were really good. The timing was probably terrible because the technology just wasn't there. Where I lived whenever I was in high school, Super 8 cameras were hard to come by, and video cameras had not yet kind of come up in the... Whoa. Hey, look at that. It's going to be a quick poof in, by the way. So, yes. That's going to be, that's not bad at all. There we go. And there we go up. We go back. Okay. Okay, the road back. Okay, so this is where we're going, and we know that. So what we need to do is we need to once again duplicate this layer, because why redraw this when it's just moving, kind of planing toward you? It'll be fine. Oh, see, just copy. Isn't that nice? So we're going to go to, actually we're going to go to here. No, let's do halfway, just to be sure. We're going to new frame, and we're going to go to assign frame. We're going to go to assign frame. Oh, no, I didn't do that right. Oh, no. Go to assign frames. Sorry. Recopy. There we go. Boom. Okay, now we're going to turn on our onion skidding. Okay. We know this is where we're going, and that's where we were. So what we just need to do is we just need to do a little bit of trickery here with our layer transform tool. Let's move layer transform tool. We're going to hit all the select all, and we're going to hit the scale. Holding down the option key to make sure you get a nice uniform scale. Okay, so this is where we are. That's where we're going. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like one here, and we're going to click OK, and we're going to deselect, and then we're going to fill in the rest of those arms. So rest of those arms like so, and we're going to go back to frame. Oh, sorry, frame 3, and we're going to hit take off that skin again, and we're going to hit duplicate. So duplicate that layer again. Okay, so now we're going to go to here, kind of halfway in between. I'm going to click a new frame, and we're going to hit assign frame, and we're going to hit copy to. made. We're going to put that in there, turn on our onion skin, and see where we're at. Okay, see, we're, you know, it's not bad. Okay, select all, and go up to our layer transform tool, scale rotate, down the option key, the alt key, sorry, alt, or option if you're on a Mac, I suppose. I'm on the PC right now, so that's why I'm having some confusion. Okay, lose where we are, where we're going. Close. Theory is here on your keyframes is that you shouldn't have one directly in the middle. Your action should be either closer to this end of the timeline or that end of the timeline, with very little being one directly in the middle. As far as action goes, as how your keyframe, how your in betweens are. Apparently, I have Livy has joined the chat. Hi, Livy. How you doing? So what we're doing here is we are taking these arms out to here and finishing that up. Okay, now we need to go back to 3 again. Okay, we're going to go back down to our 3 one more time. Ooh, and hit duplicate layer once more. Turn off that onion skinning. Okay, we're going to go to here. So we've got one more in between to put in. So we're going to make a new cell. And now we're going to assign our copy 3. This is getting redundant. Into here. Okay, now turn on onion skinning. Okay. So it's where we're at. So where we need to be in the next frame. So we just need to shrink this down a skosh. So we're going to select all again. Layer transform tool. And we're going to go to here. And we're going to go to this right into here. Okay. And deselect. And now we're going to see the pencil tool. Arms out to where they need to be. All right. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, but I made one tragic mistake. I didn't change that on the other ones here. Is that going to be okay? Yep, that's not going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Oh, boy. Well, you know what we can do? Using the onion skin tool, we're just going to try and fix some of the little bit of the problem here on this index finger. It's got to go out. It's okay. Here we go. And we're going to go to there. I'm going to take that out to there. And we're going to go there. That out to there. Okay. And now, I have to make this correction on all of those guys. That won't be too much of a problem. Most part. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. And all relatively fixed. Okay. All right, that looks very psychedelic. Let's turn off the onion skin and take a look at what we got. All right, other than that index finger turning black, it's okay. We'll fix that in post. Actually, post the inking phase, inking and coloring phase. So we're back at 3 again. We're going to duplicate 3 one more time, and we're going to hit new frame. Okay, now we're going to put that into here. Okay. before. Okay, there it is. Lose my brain. All right, so we're just going to take our layer tool and we're just going to move this up to right about here. It's going to be like that, sort of the halfway, but not quite the halfway. Oh, it should be over the halfway. It should be over the halfway. Okay, right about there. So I just need the eraser tool. And this will kind of give us the idea of where we need to go. Doing threes with 8 frames a second, sometimes there's not that nice frame that's in the middle, so you just kind of have to fudge things a bit. It's okay. Okay, so back to here. And we're going to go back to our frame 3, and we're going to duplicate this guy again. Okay, we're going to go to here. We're going to go to new frame. And new cell. And we're going to assign the latest copy of 3 to that. Never done it. We're going to move this layer. Use the layer movement tool to move this up just a scoosh. And okay, now we're going to erase those arm lines on both sides and redo them again. And this kind of gives you an idea of how it works. Instead of spacing them out perfectly, we're going to okay. So we need to go to 3 again. Oh wait, no. This time we're not going to go to 3. No, we're going to go to 3A. Yes, 3A. And we're going to duplicate layer there. Okay. Right here, and we're going to put in new traffic passing by apparently, and we're going to hit the side. Okay, so we need 3A copies, sorry. Whew. All right, put that into here. Okay, 3A copies there. Okay. This gets kind of confusing after a while, I'm sure. So we're going to kind of right to there. All right, and we just need to trim up these arm lines just a bit. Get them to be where they need to be. All right, there we go. Let's take a look at what we got. Oh, look at that. Now. Unfortunately, we can use none of these frames that we just did on the way back down. But that's okay. But that is fine. Trust me, it is. It's completely fine. Okay, let's do yeah, well, actually, if we do it, let's see. If we do it at 3 here. I'm gonna do frame here. We're gonna assign our newest copy 2 there. Okay, turn on those onion skins. Okay, now we are shaking hands, taking names. This is our midpoint in between, so we're going to move layer tool this guy down. There's one more coming up, so what we need to do is kind of get closer to the green line than we are to the blue line. And yeah, about that way, kind of spacing out the action as best we can. The human eye, it is hoped, will pick up the movement, will fill in the movement of the frames. That's why most action sequences in anime are done on threes, because one, each frame holds longer, and your brain fills in the movement on the in-betweens. It's an old Gynaxian trick that's used a lot. The season opener for Dan to Dan tends to use it on threes, especially when Okarun and Momo are running through the tunnel at the very end of the opening. Yeah. Aha. Something relevant and modern for you. Okay. Going to go here. This is one more time. There's a lot of duplicating going on here. Instead of redrawing everything, I mean, this is the key tools here. In the past, I've just redrawn everything, traditional frame-by-frame type things. But you've got these copy tools which could allow you to do movement and take frames, so details will remain relatively the same from frame to frame. I mean, you might as well use the modern tools if you've got them. So, I mean, there's not AI or anything like that. But anyway, but I digress. A3 right there. So we're gonna transform tool this guy down. This is the one that's closest to the blue, so that's good. Right to here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna redo those. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we got one. Good. A copy 2A. Wow, this is getting deep. 3A copy 2A. Yeah, okay. all right. File structure. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this file structure wise. I'm sure. Positively sure. In fact, I think we're just going to leave that exactly how it is. Not even change it at all. Let's see what we got. Whoa, look at that. Okay, now they're going to go, as they say, down low. So we need to duplicate a new one. Ah, finally, frame 4, duplication. Yay! Trumpets. Pick a good halfway point. Yeah, here, I suppose, would be like the easiest halfway point. Sure, whatever. Those onion skins. And we're going to hit assign. 4. 4A. 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 Dang it. Nope, it is not 4A, it's 4 copy. See, things are getting complicated now. I'm losing track. 4 copy. Yeah. All right. Okay, we're going to see this is going to be a little bit closer to the where we're going to than where we've been. Let's alter those arm lines to better represent a movement. Not bad, not bad. Okay, there we go. Hit save. Okay, let's go backwards to 4. Hit duplicate one more time there. Hit new frame. And we're going to hit assign. It's going to be 4 copy. Yeah. Alright. And we'll move that one down. This is going to be closer to the blue. So it's not going to move that very much at all. In fact, I don't think that much is going to change on it. From there, maybe a little bit will change here. Very much. There we go. Okay, well, we got one more to do, so we're going to take that 4 copy and duplicate the 4 copy. Oh boy. Getting complicated. New frame, we're going to assign that one to the 4 copy. Cops. 4 cops. That. Alright. And we're just going to move this one down a little bit closer to there, and I don't think much else has to be done. Well, maybe a little bit on those sort of things. That just like that. And we've got to the download part of it. Okay, let's review what we've got going up here. Coming up about 15 minutes left on this art stream. It's not going to be completed today, but it's going to be pretty far along, I'd say. Okay, now we have to just repeat what we just did. Oh, no. Oh, well, actually, yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up now, and we just need to reverse the order. Yes, I know. So this is here. So the cops is going to go to here. So we're going to go boop, boop. Or cops. It's going to go to there. And now we're just going to kind of copy. It's going to go here. Sign that. We're just reversing the procedure, so why not? Okay. There we go. And that one is 4 copy 2. Okay, 4 copy 2. New frame. Assign 4 copy. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Oh well. So there we go. Well, okay, look at that. Okay, so now we need to figure out what this is. That's 3. So this is 5. 5 is the same as 3. So instead of like doing everything, 3 copy 5. Okay, so what we got here? New cell sign. Copy 5 there. Okay, good. 3 copy 4 is our next one. assign 3 copy 4, 3 copy 4. There we go. And 3 copy 3A is our next one. Assign 3 copy 3A. Hang on a second. 4, 5. 3A copy. Ah, dang it. A copy. How? All right. We need to go back down now. 3A right there. Assign 3A, 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 3A. 3A copy. 3A. 3A copy. Oh, that's not gonna work. True. No, that's not it. It's the one after that. Copy 3. Okay, 3A copy 3. Three. Okay, new frame. 3A copy. A copy 2. A copy 2. All right, here we go. We have a shake. We don't have yet is we don't have a hand coming in, but that's fine. Let's go back to the beginning of the timeline and play and see what happens. All right, hey, that's not bad at all. Okay, so what we need to do, kind of put this to bed on the penciling stage, while there's still a few minutes left, is I'm going to put in a new animation folder, a new animation layer. Okay, that's going to go over here, and we're going to hit new cell. Actually, no, we're not going to hit new cell. We're going to hit new cell here. Cell here, and because that is blank. Okay, so we're going to put another new cell here, and this is when our hand is coming through. Okay, so kind of have onion skin on. We're going to see that, aren't we? No. It's okay for right now. Oh, there it is. Finally, it's working. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically, it's going to take up the entirety. Her hand will take up the entirety of this frame. That. Finger there. I'll say that that's a knuckle right here. There. I'm not drawing on the right layer, am I? No, I'm not drawing on the right layer. I'm drawing on the wrong layer. That's what's going on. Arg. One common problem in the modern age is you're always drawing on the wrong layer. Well, shoot. It'll be okay. Kind of know what I'm doing now. So we're just going to go like that right now. represents her hand coming into frame very, 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 very quickly. Fast enough. Yeah, it's going to be coming in very fast. Well, fast means less frames of animation to do, obviously. So we're going to down here. Okay, so I'm going to have to kind of do this a little bit on the freehandier side of things, just to kind of get to the idea. Okay. Do one more frame, and we got to be close. I mean, it's going to have to be a heck of a lot closer. So it's going to be now about he's big. Okay. Okay, I see it. Okay, so it's gonna be messy. It's gonna be very, very, very messy, but it will work. There, knuckle there, there. That's information which will not be seen on the screen, but that is okay. And there we go, pow. You get that illusion of and there we go. So that's it. That's the roughs. That's the penciling on our animation here. So let's go ahead and take it out here. Get all the way back and see what we got. There we go. Yeah, that's not bad. So there we go. That is one handshake animation, frame by frame. Next up will be the inking process, which will make new animation folder layers. And animation folder layers, which will be above these, and we'll just basically ink the drawings that we had before and colorize them. And then there will probably be a lot of copying like there was last time. Yeah, I don't know. I might do them all a little bit more about a similar way. But you know, I think probably starting with these would probably be for the best. I might put a little bit of blur on those. Faux blur, I guess I'm going to say. There we go. Is where I probably would start with that. So there we go. All right. So that's scene 70. And we're going to move onward and upward with the Indavo. Trailer will be coming soon. There will be probably a couple of shorts I'm working on. The idea. Mostly just scenes from episode 1 to promote that. I'd like to thank everyone who watched that one. It's over 1,000 views right now. So that's great. Pretty good. It didn't go viral, but hey, it's doing fine by my estimation. And trying to get the trailer for episode 2 out in 2 weeks, I would imagine. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them, and I will do my best to answer them. Remember, there are